Today we're going to discuss the proper protection for the wiring harness, starting with the primary power connections from the battery. The main power supply cable from the battery to the rest of the system should be protected with either a correctly sized max fuse or fusible link. Individual circuits that are in the wiring should also be protected with the correct size wire as well as the properly sized fuse. Things such as transmission fans and trans brakes should definitely be protected with the fuse to protect these circuits if a problem occurred. As discussed in a chapter on proper wire selection, every circuit must have a wire that's properly sized for the component's electrical load, or you'll have problems with heat and voltage loss at a minimum. Serious component damage, including fire, are always a possibility if these rules are ignored. The engine and chassis must be properly grounded. Using a vehicle chassis as your primary ground, as we've previously discussed, is not sufficient. You want to make sure that you use proper grommets anytime that you're passing the wire through bulkheads, as well as use a high-quality loom to protect the wires from any abrasions. You want to retain the harness and keep it secure and away from moving parts or other high-heat components. For example, we've got the new Mr. Gasket 3741 magnetic zip tie retainers, which allow you to go to a steel surface and retain without having to drill any holes, or some of the cushion clamps. An example, these would be Earl's part number 171010 ERL. You want to make sure that you use some type of harness insulation if the wires run near some high heat sources. A couple examples we have here are the Earl's Flame Guard, which has been available in this brick finish for several years, as well as the new black finish that's available. Another material that we have here is the Mr. Gasket Inferno Shield part number 6323, which is a fiberglass insulation with an adhesive backing as well as a foil outer face you can wrap around your wires in order to protect those from other high heat sources. It's important to make sure that you follow proper wiring practice throughout your installation. Make sure that your wires are retained away from moving sources and high heat components, and make sure they are guarded against abrasion. So for a quick review on wire protection, you want to make sure that you use the proper gauge wire for the task at hand. You want to make sure that you use proper fuses to protect the circuits. If you're going through any type of metallic bulkheads, you want to make sure that you run the wire through a grommet, use protective loom and the proper retention devices to keep it out of harm's way. If your wiring is going near any high heat sources, make sure you use some type of insulation as well in order to protect that wiring from heat so you don't have any meltdowns. For more recommendations and tips on properly wiring your vehicle, check out our other great Holley Tech videos.